That's enough of the line. I feel we don't need to see any more of that line at the moment. I hope you've all brought my black line course. You know, you want to get better at chess, then it's the course to buy. There'll be multiple links going to it in the chat, so check that out. And yeah, I mean, I think it's getting some very good reviews. So you got a money back guarantee. It's only on sale for a limited time. I'm not sure how much longer. A couple of days maybe. So the price will double after that. So it'll be your last chance to get it. So go on, buy the course, support me. And of course I'll be plugging it a little bit because basically the more courses I can sell, the more time off I get to make YouTube videos and stream. Because you don't really make any money doing streams. You get the odd donation and stuff, but obviously that's not really going to pay for the rent. But I like doing these free streams. They're great fun. And you guys are brilliant. So if you guys can buy my course, it means I can do more of these. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Well, I'm going to be just an hour today. What I was actually thinking of doing, because quite it's a lovely day. I want to get outside, basically. I want to get out into Corona land. No, I don't mean that. Sorry, it's horrible what's going on, the Corona stuff, and yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's happening with the world? But who knows? So what we're going to do today, just an hour show, and as advertised below, if people are asking, what am I doing today? Look, it's below. It's below. It says Thursday. Believe it or not, that's today. The time is totally wrong, which I did say on my Facebook and Twitter page. So if you look at, I had to do something a couple of hours ago, but it's wrong. So what we're going to do today? Well, we got one of the most exciting tournaments in the world coming up, and it is the candidates. Well, it's the best tournament every 2 years. I think it's to see who's going to play for the World Championships. So it's absolutely brilliant. I don't think, again, we're talking about coronavirus a little bit today. I don't think personally it should affect the candidates too much. Obviously, Rajabov pulling out and MVL in has affected it. Can I be honest? As much as I love Rajabov, I love MVL more. So I'm kind of happy MVL's playing, But when they're actually playing their games, there's only 8 of them. It's like there's more people than that when you walk down the street or something. So there's 8 of them. They're not going to be seeing other people really. So I don't think there's any danger of corona or anything like that for them. I wouldn't have thought. So I don't think it should affect the tournament, which I'm really happy about because it means who knows what the country will be doing by then if we're being locked down. But at least it means all of us can at least watch some great chess for a couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. With all the doom and gloom that's going on, we kind of need a bit of something cool and creative. So the candidates is massive, and that's what I want to talk about today for an hour. And I've got some examples from games, so I can show you some stuff as we go along. And I just realised that my thing is what's going on here. Okay. Well, luckily I can remember the moves there. I might need to load up some more stuff. And what I've done today, I'll look at you guys and the chat in a minute. I've picked one part of the game from each player. So there's 8 players. I'm going to tell you who I think will do well in the candidates. I will tell you who I think will win it. I'll tell you who I want to win it. And I'd like to hear your opinion as well. And I'd like to hear which of these guys will give Magnus Carlsen the best shot at winning the World Championships, and which of these players do we want to see playing Magnus Carlsen? Because I'll be honest, and again, this is not trying to be derogatory, even if it might sound like it. There's some players I want to see play Magnus, and there's some that I don't. I mean, for example, Sergei Karyakin, as much of a brilliant player is, frankly, I found that World Championships quite boring. People were saying they found the Fabi Magnus Carlsen World Championships quite boring. I didn't. Even though it was all draws, I actually found that World Championships very interesting. The last one, Fabiano Caruana versus Magnus Carlsen. I thought they were fascinating games, new openings, and I thought it was actually had a lot of interest. Just the fact they're all draws shows the quality of the players. So I'm going to give you my personal opinions, and the Shrezhnikov opening came to life, didn't it? Quite a lot in that one. So that was a running thing. So I think it's only starting. When is the candidate starting? Let me have a look at my diary. Bloody hell! Is it starting? What's the date today? It's starting on Sunday. Wow. Okay, I can't believe it. It's actually starting on Sunday. Can you, Adam and Eve it? Wow. So it really is. It really is getting very close. Now, another thing, I mean, I don't really gamble so much anymore. I used to. Trust me, I did. But I want to also have a look what the odds are on some of the players, and if any of you guys, fancy a little fun bet, you can. Maybe I'll put a £5 bet on. But first of all, let's see who's in the chat, and let's have a look. So we have hello to everyone. If I miss your name, I apologise. But Clax, Rura Ruby, Monique, Cheesehead, not Chesshead, Grizzly Grizzu, Harry into space. That will happen one day. John Chandler, hello John. I put the short and sweet version on my wish list if that's acceptable. Well, the short and sweet version of this thing above is free. It is free, so there's a free 1 hour version. Maybe Charlie the Chess Cat, if Charlie's around, can give you a link to that. So if you can't afford to buy my course, I've given you a free 1 hour lesson there. So go and check that out. Nug me. Turbo Roy says he's bought the course. So far looks good. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because it is good. Not that I'm being arrogant, it just is. Micro Root, nobody wants to take a risk, and thus the candidates is usually quite boring. I disagree. I always find the candidates very exciting, and players do have to take risks, especially in the last rounds. I mean, some of the risks players take are crazy. They have to take more risks than they would do in other competitions. You might need to win to qualify. So I think it could be very interesting, personally. Well, I don't think I'll be winning the candidates this year. Give me another couple of years. Beam me up, Scotty. Hello there, sir. And let's have a look. So, hello, Rancid Gambit. Aldo. Hello, Aldo. How you doing, mate? Are you okay? Early today, aren't you? Is that like Yoda chat? I've been watching the In-Betweeners, if anyone knows that, and they go, like you I am. Early you are. It's a little bit early today. I'm only doing a quick hour, and I'm going to then enjoy some sunshine. So, hope you're doing all right, Aldo. We'll have to meet up soon, definitely. As I said yesterday, after meeting Blair, so I was probably a little bit, tipsy. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so let's have a look. So I'm going to just show you, like I say, each of the candidates' players' games. I'm going to talk to you about basically, my opinion of each player. So we're going to start with Ding Liren, who a lot of people say is the favourite, and he's going to be the biggest challenge. I want to hear your view as well as we go on. Let me know what you think. Who's going to win the candidates? Bus wankers, yeah. That's a great scene. Bloody great scene. So this game here, he was playing in the Chinese league against a Grandmaster, I think Grandmaster 2500 player. And they got this position after King F3, which is absolute chaos. Ding Liren has sacrificed the Queen, and for the Queen he's got a Rook and a Bishop. So he's a lot of material down, but the White King is in a dangerous place. And this is one of my favourite games of all time. This is one of my favourite games of all time. This is beautiful. And Ding Liren is certainly one of the players who I think is going to have a great chance of winning the candidates. And also, I personally think Ding Liren is maybe the most dangerous player for Magnus Carlsen. I think out of everyone, Magnus says he doesn't fear anyone. Maybe he doesn't, because he's bloody good. And I expect Magnus to win, by the way, this year. But out of everyone to challenge Magnus Carlsen, I think Ding Liren is the most scariest for him. He has a bad score against Ding Liren. Ding Liren's not afraid of him. Neither is Fabiano. The other players are a little bit. And Ding Liren, I think... Well, if I was going to bet on that, I would actually say Ding Liren is you'll get good odds on him, and I think he'll be a good bet to become world champion if he qualifies. So Dingleren is also a very exciting, dynamic player, as this game shows. Now in this position, he played some amazing moves here. Now his next move here was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely stunning. This king is in danger, but it's also, you know, white's a queen up. So black now played rook d4, and this is one of the most amazing moves I've seen. Thank you for subscribing, Espen. Aldo says he wants Carlsen dethroned. He wants to see another world champion. Really? That's interesting. Why is that? Because you want to see Carlsen hungry? You want to see him come back stronger? Interesting. Who wants to see Magnus retain the world championships, and who wants to see him dethroned? I kind of want to see him still being world champion for the one factor that I think he's probably the best chess player ever, at standard-wise, and I think it would be nice to see him release his full potential, but maybe being dethroned will make him release his potential more. Interesting. Cluster Cosmos, thank you for the cheer out. Very kind. I'm glad you're gaining points on chess.com. Anyway, let's have a look. So Dingleren with the black pieces, and this was an amazing move because it puts the rook on a square and it doesn't seem to threaten anything. But if pawn takes rook, knight takes here, is going to be winning for black, because black is now going to win the queen, be a piece up. So you can't take the rook. And another thing this does, I always had this little row of what you should be doing. If you can't, if you don't have an immediate win when you're attacking, immediate check or capture, you need to look at bringing in reinforcements and creating threats. And this move creates a threat of g4 leading to checkmate. So, for example, if bishop e2, g4, and this is why the rook plays an important part, and this is checkmate. Very beautiful checkmate. So the game continued with h3 instead of bishop e2, stopping that idea. But now black just played h5, continued the idea. And now white went bishop h2 with the point of trying to get the king to g3. So g3 check happened, g4, excuse me. The king now run here, and the king is in a lot of trouble, but it's just about surviving. And now we see the second most brilliant move, I think. The second most brilliant move. And this next move is fantastic. I don't know if you've seen the game. Some of you might have seen the games or examples I'm going to show you. But what was the next move? Now, if you take the knight here, white will take your rook. And white is then winning. Remember, white's a queen up, so you know you have to be a little bit careful. If you don't do something quickly, you're going to lose. So in this position, knight e7 is very interesting. Plocrux, maybe trying to get the knight to this square. But let's go back to basics of chess. If there's nothing immediate, so there's no checks or captures, you should always look at checks or captures. Like I just said, you want to create a threat. And the more forcing the move, the better. Because if you play a move like knight e7, then white has a lot of options here. He has many different moves. So if you can find a forcing move, play a forcing move, as long as it's a good one. So, well done, ERW64 and Rancid Gambit. Maybe you've seen the game. Maybe you're just brilliant. And the move that was now played was rook to d2. And this was like the immortal rook game. I'm just getting a notification that Hikaru went live, so goodbye 100 people from my stream. I'm only doing an hour today, so you can stay with me for an hour. Wow, okay, anyway, I mean, Hikaru's brilliant. He'll be still live. He'll still be live when I finish. So don't you worry. And after this move, it's beautiful because now we're getting the knight to e4, and we're going after the king in a much more aggressive way. Now, if the queen takes the rook, this again is another deadly knight fork that wins the queen. And the other point of this move is the rook becomes much more active, and it pushes the queen away, and the queen can no longer hold this square. And it's really such a brilliant attacking plan. And after rook d2, queen here, knight e4 check, king h4. I'll just show you the end of the game. I'm not going to comment on it. Check. King takes here. This is a beautiful game. King g7. Sublime stuff. Black wants to get this rook over here. Absolutely sublime. Amazing. Bishop f4, bishop f5. Black went on to win this game in real style. Now I do want to have a look at the other players in this hour, so I'm not going to dwindle too long on this position, but just want to sum up that Ding, in my opinion, am I going to say he's the favourite over Fabiano? Do I disagree with the bookies? Let me see if I can find the odds very quickly. Odds on the chess candidates. Let's just have a look. I'm intrigued because I'm going to tell you what I think is a good bet for those of you. Okay, so we do have the odds. This is interesting. Go away, advertisements. Let me just post it somewhere. View all odds, and okay, this is interesting. Okay, I'm going to post this. So those of you who, even if you're not a gambler, this is more for the mathematicians as well, because it gives us an indication what the experts, or the so-called experts, think about who's going to win the candidates. So I'm just going to save the odds so you can all see it, and we can talk about that during the course of this show. So just let me close this down now. I think I've got it saved. Bear with me. It will start looking good in a minute, people. It'll start looking good in a minute. I just need to do a little bit of moving about, like I do. I haven't got as many screens as I used to have. One of my computer screens has stopped working. So if you want to donate to a computer screen, feel free. Here we go, and I will move that around where it looks a little bit better. Where should we put it? Can you all see that? Let's put it at the top, shall we? Go on. There we go. I can't actually see it now, which is great. It's too small. Okay. Can anyone read that? I can't bloody read that. Why is it so small? Okay, let's try again. Let's make it big. Yeah, there we go. Let's make it big so we can actually read it. There we go. Okay, I'll go over my face. People might like that face there. Okay, so the favourites, as we can see, are Fabiano Caruana. So I'm just going to get it up on another screen because I can't actually see that too well. Maybe, and he's 6-4. Ding Liren 5-2 is a good bet. So I think he's got as much chance as Fabiano's winning, and as this game shows. So that'd be my personal thoughts about that. I wish I had more screens now. I just don't have enough screens to do this. But let's move on now to the second person, and let's move on to Fabi and have a look at a Fabi game and see. I mean, Fabi has really good nerves, and he's been there before, and he can beat Carlsen in the World Championships. But I would certainly put Carlsen as favourite against Fabi, no doubt about it. But Fabiano 6-4. I don't think he's a very good bet to win the candidates. But this next example, let's just have a look at this. I picked one game out here he played, which I think is absolutely brilliant. It's a brilliant game, this one. And this was against Ponomaryov. And this is a question for you guys in the chat. It's after Bishop F7, white to play and win. White to play and win. Can I show the... Okay, people asking me... I'll get my... Yeah, it's very small. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, some of these are famous games. 5-4 is basically nearly like... Yeah, 1.25. That's what it is. It's basically like 5-4 means if you put £10 on... God, okay. If you put £10 on, you get like £8 back. You win £8. Is that right? So he's big favourite. Not a very good bet. Hopefully you can just about see the odds there anyway. Hopefully you can see them. Okay. Now, let's have a look. So what is... Okay, so a couple of you got the right answer already. You might have seen this. Well done to High EQ and Sleeping My Shin. And the next ones are in puzzles, so you can play along. And thank you to anyone who's subscribing, by the way. If I miss you out and forget to say thank you, then I apologise. It's obviously just a little bit busy with things here. But this position was a beautiful finish. It went rook e7, and this was against Ponomaryov, an ex-FIDE world champion. And this looks crazy because the queen can take the rook, but it's distracting the queen away from a8. And it's amazing how in this position the checkmate move is going to be queen a8 checkmate, and it only occurs in a couple of moves. Now this rook has to be taken because of the pressure on c7. And now the next brilliant move. Can you all see it now? Bishop to a6. Simply fantastic tactics there. The threat is queen to b7, checkmate. The only way to stop that is king takes a6. And now, all of a sudden, there's no defense of a8. So queen to a8 is checkmate. Really, really, I think that's a really beautiful, beautiful tactical sequence there. And Fabiano, though, his favourite to win the candidates, he's got a very good chance. Don't get me wrong. The reasons he's got good chances are he's a bloody good player, but they're all really good players. So let's not say they're good players. He's very cool. He's really cool. Under pressure, he can handle the pressure really well, which means that is great. He's got the experience. He's done it before. He's qualified before. He's got a great team of workers behind him. His support network is fantastic. His openings are brilliant. Now let me tell you now that all these guys who, as soon as they know they're in the candidates, except for MVL, have been preparing for this one tournament for ages, a year or so. As soon as they knew it, they've been saving up special openings that they haven't played in other tournaments just for the candidates, because the candidates is your one chance of becoming world champion. So it really is massive. So all these things mean that Fabiano does have a great opportunity. He certainly does. He certainly does. But I don't know. I just don't feel it this time. I mean, he can do it, but he wouldn't be my bet. And I'm thinking at the odds, you know, if I was going to put £10 on and I only get £18 back, that includes my £10, let's all do it £10. I don't think he's the best bet. I'd rather go on Ding. Is that right? If I put £10 on Ding, I get about £28 back. So that's a much better bet. Just think about that like that. Now let's move on to another player, and I want to go through all the players. Then you can tell me at the end who you think will do the job. And another player people have talked about is Grizz Chuck. Now Grizz Chuck is an outside bet at 11-1, and I don't know. I think he's got the talent to do it. He is a fantastic talented attacker, but I think his nerves are not quite as good as some of the others. I'm being as harsh as I can, you know, but they're all brilliant, by the way. By the way, it's white to play and win in this position if you want to have a... this is Grizz Chuck playing the white pieces against Rublevsky, I think, a famous Russian grandmaster. And I just feel that Grizz Chuck, he gets in time trouble too much. He's never really had a role of wins that I can recall against top players in a tournament. He's won top tournaments. He's definitely capable, but I don't think he's going to, in the critical stage, be able to handle it as well as some of the other guys. Don't get me wrong, Grizz Chuck's one of the people that I would love to see win this tournament. The two people I would love to see win it, personally, the two guys I want to win this, and I think, three maybe? I don't know. I mean, I would go... I mean, Fabi... by the way, I've got nothing against the other people. I don't want to sound harsh, but I'd love to see Grizz Chuck win. Chess Fug, because he's just a fantastic character. I'd love to see MVL win, because I think he's been hard done by. This is an opportunity. I know him a bit. He's a lovely person. I quite like to see Anish do well. Anish versus Magnus, but the only reason I maybe wouldn't pick Anish is I imagine that World Championships would be really boring. so there you go. Okay, anyway. This is quite... Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, a Grizz Chuck at 11-1... maybe worth an outside bet. If you put £10 down, you win £111. And the way he won this, did anyone get it? He now played... Oh, sorry, it's black to move. It doesn't matter too much. Rook F2, it's the same thing. Rook takes C6. But what move is the key move here? What is the key move here? What is the key move here? People are saying Grizz Chuck has the most character out of the candidates. Yeah, I agree. And I like people with character. It's like the old snooker players. For anyone who plays snooker, it's true. I like to see players with character doing it. So, and what's the key move here? Anyone seen the move? Well done, Master Toaster. This rook is holding up the pawn, but after rook takes f7, white goes on to win. And Grizz Chuck is an amazing tactical player. He really is. And the point is here: if rook takes, you just go here. This pawn queens because of the pin. If black ever tries to move the rook, we have a discovered check. And we win the rook, we win the game. So black now tried rook to f4. And what move did white play here? Hurricane Higgins was a bit of a legend, wasn't he? So what move? Hello, John. How you doing, John? I'm glad you're all right. We're having a look at some of the players and the candidates, and I'm trying to show the odds that the bookies are giving the candidates, even though it's taken up most of my screen and it's rather annoying me. I think I'll get rid of that now, guys, and I'll tell you the odds. I'll tell you them. Let's get rid of this, shall we? Let's just get rid of it. We don't want that anymore. Goodbye. So what move is the best move now? Well, if you go b7 here, then I think rook here and black survives. No, black survives in this position because he's got his rook behind the pawn. So b7 doesn't work. Well done to blue. Everyone else, Plocrux maybe said it first. c3, and this is very nice because it just stops the rook getting behind the passed pawn, and rooks are best behind the passed pawn. Rook takes f6 check. Maybe I just move my king, and I think black is okay now. So the best move is just to stop black's idea, and this is a very important way to win games of chess. And if you play c3, you are stopping your opponent's idea behind his last move to get over here. And there's no way now that black can stop this pawn from queening. And this is, one way to win chess, which a lot of people forget, is look at your opponent's last move, see what their idea is, and stop it. How frustrated are they going to get if you do that? This is the way often to win games. So Grizz Chuck, I'd say, has some chances, but I don't think he's got the best chances. Now, one guy I think might be a little surprise, and he's my main pick, believe it or not, is Nepo. Now, Nepo, another Russian player, is, let's have a look at his odds, 9-1. He's 9-1. So what that means at those odds, 9-1, is if you put £10 on him, you get £100 back. So I think that's a good bet. He's an outsider. 9-1. I have a feeling he's one of the most talented players, a pure talent, just natural feel, something a bit magical like Magnus. There's something about Nepo's play which I think is, it just, for me, it shows he's got something. He's got that extra little bit. I mean, when I've gone through his games, there's something about him, the way he plays, which he's a great attacker. He spots things so quickly. He's very good at rapid. He can give Magnus a good game in a rapid. He hasn't performed really yet in any tournaments, so he is an outsider. But if he plays to his ability, he could be one guy. And if I was going to put my £10 on one person for best value, it would be on Nepo. Because I get £100 back, I only lose £10. If I put my £10 on Fabi and he wins, I get £20 back. For Nepo is a great bet, I think, and I think he's going to do well. Now, after bishop takes g5, he now comes up with a brilliant idea here. Let's see if anyone can tell me the idea. 9-1. He's 9-1. So if you put £10 on it, you times it by 9. 9 times 10 is 90, plus the £10 you put on at the start, so you get £100 back. And this one, okay, he maybe plays too fast, I don't know, but there's something about the way he plays. If he can sort himself out, I think he's got a great chance. Also, it is in Russia. I think he's gonna feel comfortable in Russia. He's gonna have great support from other Russian grandmasters training him. All this stuff about Corona, it's going to put some people off. Like Ding. I'm sure, like the Chinese guys, Ding and Wang Hao, having this thing where you have to go to a house having these problems back home. These little things, I think they do affect you, even if you say they don't. I think this is going to lower Ding's odds a little bit. By the way, Fabiano Caruana, he's struggling to get a flight over there at the moment. His flight that he was going to get is cancelled. And now all this stuff with the Americans not being able to get back from Europe, it's going to play on his mind a bit. So I think Fabi's going to, he's going to be a little bit not as relaxed as he'd want to be. But, someone like Nepo, it's in Russia. It's there. I think it's a good bet. Okay, he has a new flight, I've been told, but still, it's still a little bit, I think these things matter. Okay, so now a very beautiful tactic that occurred here, and it started with bishop takes h7 check, which is the move we want to play. But what is the follow-up after king takes h7? And actually, this wasn't him finding this at the board. Nepo very gracefully said after the game that it was Russian player, oh my words, one of my favourite Russian players as well. Young guy, seconded, really humble, very imaginative player. Names of grandmasters. Zubov, yes, you got it. This was Zubov's idea, but I think it shows openings are very important, and he's got the Russians helping him. So it could be Zubov came up with this, and now this move doesn't work because you're just a piece down. But the amazing idea of this is now after h4, White is winning a pawn in all variations. It's quite weird because you just don't think this is a winning move. For example, if bishop to h6, then the point now is knight to g5 check. And after bishop takes g5, we go pawn takes g5, and now this is check, and then we take on g4, we're a pawn up, and we can come in with our queen. Hello, Mr. Dodgy. Always with the smart-ass comments, aren't you? Did I say h4 is a winning move? I'm only finding examples where h4 works. Always. Always. Yeah, I mean, you should have guessed that h4 is the winning move. And it's quite amazing, this position, because here, pawn takes g5 is coming in nearly all lines. And it's an amazing little idea, this, I thought. For example, the game continued. There's nothing that can be done. Harry's always winning. Bishop d2 check. And this gives the piece back. But the resulting position, White's just a pawn up and went on to win. So I thought that was a very nice little tactic from Nepo, personally. And I think he's my bet. If you got £10, put it on Nepo. He is 9-1. He's a good bet. Now, let's move over to Anish Giri. Now, the game here, Anish is White. It's White to play and win. Does anyone think Anish has a chance? Anish is, wow, look at his odds, 20-1. So Anish is 20-1. No. If you got £10, order a Corona mask off Amazon. No, I'm okay. I don't need a Corona mask. No, if you've got £10, no, anyone. I like this. Anish has never won anything big. John Toronto, nah, not really. Mid-table at best. Beam me up, Scotty says yes. Grizzly Grizzu says yes, a small chance. Anish shouldn't participate. That's a bit harsh, I think. No. Can he win anything? Well, he has got a very beautiful wife and kids, so he's doing all right there. How about draws? If Anish wins, I don't think it qualifies as a super tournament anymore. I mean, the thing with Anish is everyone takes the piss out of him, including Anish, because he's a drawer. He loves drawing. He drew every game at the candidates last year. He is 20-1, so if you put £10 on him, you'll win £210 if he wins the candidates. Now, the funny thing is, I'm not as pessimistic as other people about him. I don't think he's going to win it because history says he's not. But when you look at his chess, he's actually a lot more aggressive sometimes than people realise. I just wish he'd, when he was playing against lower rated players, he plays more aggressively. I wish he would do that a bit more. And I think anyone who's going to win the candidates, they can't just play totally boring and solid and not give any risks the whole way through. You can't do that. At some point, you have to take some risks. And I don't see Anish doing that at all. But he is very well prepared. It's going to be very hard to beat him. And all he needs to do is not lose any games. He's good at that. He's very good at not winning any games. And maybe just win the odd couple of games, and then he'll be up there with a chance. So I don't think it's a crazy bet. My bets for the whole two players for the odds would be £10 on Nepo and £10, maybe £5 on Anish. Just a little cheeky £5 on him. Don't let him know that I said that I would bet on him. Please don't let him know that. We don't want to. He's very funny. I like Anish. I think he's a very funny character. Very funny character. Anyway, the winning move here. Did anyone see it? The winning move, Rancid Gambit. I see you've got it. Is the deflection move, Queen to E5. This is a very nice winning move. Anish can still do tactics. And the point of this move is to deflect the queen away from this pawn. At the same time, white is threatening the queen on e4 and the rook on b8. So if queen takes queen, rook takes a4 is checkmate. And if rook takes rook, the queen defends that one. But we can also just win the queen, which obviously I did not see for a second or two. So a very nice little crisp tactic there. Okay, and now next up, let's go for a bit of Wang Hao action. Now, Wang Hao is 28 to 1, so you put £10 down and you win £290. Does he have... Look, my personal opinion is it's really quite open and everyone has a chance. Even unlikely, but even Alex Cinco in a parallel universe on the billionth try would win the tournament. I mean, okay, I don't think Alex Cinco has much of a chance, but he's good enough. If he has, I mean, in a chess tournament, if you just have a good run, it's only over a certain amount of games, like 14 games. If you get all your openings in, you get everything you prepared in. If in some ways, if you get lucky, you can indeed win the tournament. So anyone can win it, but I don't think Wang Hao will win it. I just don't think he's a really good player, but I think he's a little bit too solid, and I just think some of the other players are a little bit better than him. You know, no offense to Wang Hao, who's brilliant. And in this position, this is a very nice winning attack that he started against Richard Gerber. Does anyone think they want to see what you'd play as white here? Plocrux is saying knight to e4, knight takes knight, rook to h8, bishop takes, queen here, king here, rook h1. I think you're being I think that line might be winning, but 28 to 1 means you win £280. I thought you times your 10 by 28. And then you get your £10 back. So, for example, so let's say it's 28. So I put £10 on 28 to 1. If it wins, I times my 10 by 28. So I get 280 plus the £10 that I've handed over. So this is if you're putting your £10. I'm literally giving my £10 across. If I'm not giving my £10, then obviously it's 280. But okay, it doesn't matter too much. Well, if you went down to bookies, a gambling shop, and you had a 28 to 1, you have to give the £10 over, so I'm £10 down. If it wins, come in, it's 28 times my 10 plus my original stake. So my stake back. So I think I am correct. But, you know. Okay, sorry. Rook b7 was played. Sorry, Aldo, you're right. The rook just goes here first. Okay, my mistake here. And knight to e4 has been suggested. Now, this might be okay, but let's have a look at that line. You were going knight takes here, and now rook to h8 check. I have to take that one. And then you were going bishop takes here. Well, in this position, if I'm black, I'm not going to fall into your idea. And you've always got to assume your opponent's going to play the best defense. And here, after queen takes queen, or even better, knight takes queen, you are losing. You've lost your queen. You can't checkmate it without the queen. So that's not the right move. So anyone else got any ideas how you can start a very strong attack here? And you need to blast your way through to the king. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces attacking, but your pieces are very well placed. So it's very likely you have a great attack here. Anyone have a go? Yeah, bishop. Well, that's right. Bishop g6. In these also positions where you have opposite side castling, you know, they're on the opposite sides of the board. It's so important just to go for it. Go, bro, come on. You know, there's no messing about. And these pawns are protecting the king, so let's get rid of them. Bishop takes g6. Now, one question I'm going to ask you is, in the game, black continued with his attack, but if he takes the bishop, we obviously go queen takes. First of all, if it is white's move here, what is white's threat in this position? What would white play in this position? I know it's not white's move, but if it was, what would white be playing here? So let's see who answers that question first. Well, rook to h8, king takes. How does that work? I don't understand. There's no bishop, so you can't go bishop h7. Ilyas Hamini, is that right? Plo crux, yes, rook h7 is the best move. This rook coming here. Because our bishop is so strong. And that would threaten to take the bishop with checkmate. And the knight cannot take the rook. Because if the knight moves, we go queen takes bishop, checkmate. Checkmate. So that's why in the game b4 was played. And after b4, what did Wang Hao now play? This is a really impressive game. Really impressive game. So what did white now play? Because black is trying to start a counter-attack. And it's all about time here. It's all about time. It's all who's going to get their attack in first. Throw the pieces. Throw the pieces at the opponent. Not rook to h... Well, king takes h8. Why are people trying to go rook h8? Why do you keep trying to play this move? I just take the rook. I don't understand it. You really want to play this, but what's your idea? Sorry, I'm being harsh. Did I call you Habibi? I'm so bad with pronunciations. It's really bad. Can I call you Hamimi? Hamimi. Can I call you that? Everyone's looking for fancy stuff. No, I know. It's quite fun. To be honest, I was doing the same. When I was in this position, I was like, it must be rook h8. It must be. It must be. No. But what's the right move here? Come on. We just seen the move. You're always trying to go rook there. But what's the better move? And this was a beautiful game, actually. Very nice. What's a better move here? There's one more. Oh, yeah. That is the one. Rook h7. Another piece comes flying in. And again, what if knight takes rook? What would you play here? What would you play here? You would play... You would need to get rid of the bishop. Taking the knight is best. And then you just move the queen in with checkmate. So you can't take the rook. If you take here, we get the same position as before. Checkmate is coming. This is quite a nice check. Oh, can you go here now? I still want to go there. No, I'll just take this one. That will be checkmate. So rook h7, very nice. So black now continued with pawn takes c3. And black is one move away from creating a checkmate idea. But what is the killer move now? One more move to finish the game off. You guys don't like your rooks, do you? You're always trying to give up your bloody rooks. Give away the rook. We don't want... Well done, Iles. Did I say that right? Iles? Oh dear, dyslexia. Okay, this one is correct. Because you're trying to get through to this square. And in the game, it continued with rook h1. And it's checkmate very soon after getting rid of some pieces. So this is winning. And had black taken this way, this is winning because of this. Our rook does a good job here, so we can check here. And we can get rid of the piece there. That's also checkmate. Hello, Killian. Hope you're doing all right. And survived, like, you know, Bunratty and all that. So this was a very nice game. But Wang Hao to win the candidates. Wang Hao is 28-1. And I don't see it happening. I mean, if you think Anish Giri is 20-1, I mean, I think Anish... Mark my words, Nepo and Anish, outsiders. I'm going to go Ding as my favourite. Caruana's up there, good chance. Grizz Chuck I'd like to see, I don't see him doing it. And Nepo's my outsider. I'm basically backed everyone. I've basically backed everyone now. So whoever wins it, I'll be like, yeah, I picked them. My main back is Nepo. Don't let me down, Nepo. Okay. Killian is saying, all good, trying to stay clear of the coronavirus. Yeah, I think everyone is, aren't they? Really, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm still going down the pub and things like that. I'm supposed to be going to Amsterdam next week, but I don't know if that's happening. So, who knows? Who knows what's gonna get it? I mean, I suppose if you get it at the moment, I was having this conversation. It's not such a... Is it a bad thing? Of course it's bad. You don't want to get it. But if you get it now, at least you'll get a hospital bed if it gets bad. At least you'll build up resilience to any other strains in the future and you won't get it again. So it's kind of some positives if you get it now. If you get it in a month's time, there may be no hospital beds if you get badly. And, you know, you might... And if you don't get it until another year... and you get another version of it, you won't have any resilience to it. So it could, you know, you could just wipe you out. So So in a way, I don't think it's worth worrying about personally, as long as you're sensible. But I don't know. What's Killian saying? If you're going to get it, it's much better to get it now versus 3 months' time. Well, that's another thing, because it might develop, it might get worse, mutate. So I don't know. So this is my feeling about the corona. Just changing topic a little bit. It's a horrible thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't claim to be. I'm sure lots of you disagree with me. I don't care. This is just my opinion that at least you're going to get a hospital bed probably if you get it now. That's my main thing. I don't know, looking at Italy, I don't know if you're going to get a hospital bed in England. The NHS is underfunded in like 3 months' time when everyone has this, so I don't know. And there are, also other people saying, well, I don't think any vaccine is going to be, it's going to be at least a year from now. It'll be at least a year from now. They have to test it, etc., etc. I think, Killian, you're right. I don't think the 4NCL will happen. I just don't think it will. I don't see it happening. I don't think I'm going to play anyway. Not for, lots of chess players in a hall. The candidates is different. But the 4NCL, I don't think it should happen with people from lots of different countries playing, in a hall. I don't think it, and it will get cancelled. Bundesliga's been cancelled. Everything's been cancelled. But I can't believe I'm supposed to be going to Amsterdam next weekend for a friend's 40th. I don't know. Maybe that'll be cancelled. Will I still go? Am I worried about the planes? I don't know. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a smoker, so we're all a bit selfish, aren't we? One thing I did today, actually, just to prove I'm not always selfish. It's survival, isn't it? But we've got to help each other out more. This is one thing that people aren't doing. People are not helping each other out, I don't think, enough. And one thing I did do today, I actually had some extra toilet roll, and my parents had run out, so I went over to there to give them some toilet roll, which is a little drive away. So I did my deed today. Anyway, there we go. Okay, let's look at another player. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. It's just like whatever happens, happens. Yeah. If you get it, you die. Sod it. Such is life. Doesn't matter. It does. It doesn't. People die. Sod it. Don't worry about it too much. I think you can freak out, can't you, about everything? Okay. Right. Next one. Alex Cinco, and then we got one more after this. MVL. MVL. So in this one, Alex Cinco, we talked about him. Should he be in the candidates? Well, he did qualify kind of from this big open, the Isle of Man. He's young. He's very good. I've got nothing against him. He's obviously a talented player. Should in 10 years, 5 years time, he could well be challenging for the top. But at the moment, do I think there's any difference between him and a number of other players similarly rated to him from Russia? The answer is no. I don't. He's good. He's a good player. He's a bloody good player. And he could be a future star. But should he actually be in the candidates? Rajabov should have got the wild card. Maybe it's not too late now. Give Rajabov another try. And it's white to play and win, by the way, in this one. But should he have got invited? Well, he wouldn't have got invited if it wasn't in Russia, would it? There's a little bit of Russian little going on. I'd like to have seen Zhubov instead of him. Definitely, Zhubov's proved himself more in my eyes. And also, again, I've got nothing against. I'm just talking about chess. Zhubov is such a creative player. I'd love to see him. So I don't know. It's strange. Anyway, in this position, sorry, Queen D6 was played. I'm confusing you. I keep forgetting to play the moving board. It's white to play and win now. My apologies. Let's have a look at this. Okay, I'm not going to talk about Corona anymore. Obviously, it is a worry. I'm not denying it. It's a worry. Seems like Killian is stocking up and not going anywhere. I'm not too worried, because if you get it and you die, it just happens. That happens in life. You might get run over by a car as well. It's just one of those things. Basically. And, it's very likely that you're going to get it at some point anyway. One of us will get it in the crowd. Think about that. One of us here will probably get it. Maybe more than one. Going by the scaremongers in the media. Anyway, I said I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Okay, so what is the idea? Yes, well done, Plocrux. Well done, Micro Roo. The idea is we are trying to queen the A-pawn. Killian said he's stocked up, working from home office. So he's actually you've really taken it serious, yeah? You've really taken it serious. Yeah, I feel sorry. I mean, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I mean, obviously there's lots of worries, but it's in the media all the time. Let's not turn this into bloody. I don't want to talk about it anymore. You know, you can go and read the news and scare yourself after this if you want to. You know, just why watch a horror film when you can watch Corona news live, developing. Who's going to die next? You know, why? You know, just put the news on. You don't need to go any theme parks anymore. Just put the news on. Okay, so queen to a8 check is correct. Now black cannot swap queens off because black ever swaps queens off. This pawn does work. So after king h7, a very nice tactic there. What year was this game played, Simon? I don't know. You can see the name of the player, so you can probably Google it. I'm not sure. And now queen to h8 is the beautiful idea. And this is actually a tactic that was seen. This was actually a tactic that was seen in another world champion. I think, if I'm correct, it was Fischer versus Petrosian, or was it Karpov, that famous player. It was it was a very famous tactic. I'm just trying to remember who it was. I think it was a game Fischer versus Petrosian where this happened, but I'm not sure. Anyway, king takes here, and now after the exchange, white is completely winning because this pawn queens, and most importantly, this knight on g7 cannot move anywhere. The knight is terrible. What was it? Fischer versus Spassky, was it? That's what you remember. Okay, Killian. Maybe it's, I mean that's. I thought it was Petrosian versus Spassky. That was it. Well done, blunderbuss. I thought it was Petrosian, but I thought it might be Fischer. Petrosian versus Spassky in the King's Indian defence, wasn't it? Petrosian was suffocating Spassky, and he played this lovely idea. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And it's winning. Okay, now the last one I want to look at is, this is the guy I really want to see do well, MVL. I like MVL. I think he should have got a place anyway. You know, if you're just doing it on chess, if you were just doing it on chess skill, he's clearly one of the better players. And he should have got it. But he hasn't got much preparation in. Now, there are no odds I can see on MVL. I don't know. I'm just going to check. Can we see what odds MVL is to do? I'm just going to see if I can Google it. Use my good friend Google it. By the way, white's playing win in the next position. It's a nice little tactic against fellow Frenchman, Igor Nataf. But let's see if we can find his odds. Viva la France. Do we have any odds here? I don't think we have any odds. I can't see it. I can't see any odds. Okay, so we can't even put a bet on him. MVL is 100% bet. I'd love to see him do it. I would do. I think MVL is probably one of the tactically MVL is probably, well, he's definitely one of the most dangerous. I was going to say the most dangerous tactical player. He is a incredibly good tactician. His openings, though, the things that I would say will put him in some trouble is his openings are very rigid. He plays the Najdorf and he plays the Grunfeld normally. So at this level, I think you need to be a little bit more flexible. A lot of the other players, they play many openings. I think it's okay to play 2 openings when you're lower rated, but when you're playing in the candidates, everyone's ready for you. So I think he could get in some trouble, maybe in the openings. And he hasn't had a lot of time to prepare. But there is another spin side to that. I think he's also quite fresh. He didn't expect to be here. He thought he could, he thought he was going to be watching it. So he's got nothing to lose. He should have been home. So he could have the attitude. I think he would have the attitude. I'm here. Let's give it a go. I'm just going to play. I won't be nervous. So MVL is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. So let's have a look. Now, the winning move. Has anyone got any suggestions? Yeah, Killian, I agree with what you're saying there as well. I do agree. Okay, and MVL can say a lot of things in his tweets, but I don't think he's going to be as well prepared as some of the others, and maybe he hasn't got the biggest team behind him. I don't know. Okay, so the move here, and it's a beautiful move. If you try some check, the king just comes back, so you can't make progress. Now, what you need to do is get rid of this bishop, and a beautiful move. This is why I'm saying he's one of the tactically strongest. Rook d7. This is a fantastic idea. And the idea is we've creating this net now around the king. And after bishop takes d7, which was played, we go knight takes d7, check. And you can see that we have now no bishop in the way here. So if this is taken, queen h8 is checkmate. Before, the king could come to this position. Bloody hell, it's raining hard. What's going on with the weather? Mental. So let's just have a look. If you go like check here, I can just maybe take it. Check here, I come here. You know, this is maybe okay. So rook d7 is lovely. And after this move, knight d7, king g8. Knight here, check, king f8. What is the winning move here? And after the next move, black resigned. One more move is the winning move. One more move is the winning move. Well done, 1N Fern Kush. This doesn't help. You know what you do next. What you need to do is play here and create a threat. And the threat is queen to g7, checkmate. And if you take the knight, I go queen to h8, checkmate. And this is the end. And after knight to h5, there's no good way for black to stop this one. So black resigned. Does knight to e8 work as well? Interesting question. I expect the answer is yes, to be honest. Does that work as well? With the idea of just going here? Yeah, I think you might. It might be working. It's stopped raining now. Okay, that's good, Charlie. You can go outside again, Charlie. Now, a beautiful sunshine in Newcastle. It was lovely sunshine here as well. I was looking outside and thinking, oh, what a lovely day, and turn around and you know, the apocalypse has come. I mean, it is a bit weird. We basically we've had storms. Keep getting storms. We've had plagues. We just need locusts now, and the four men of the apocalypse are literally, I wouldn't be surprised if they turn up soon and just, you know, get rid of us humans. Anyway, as long as the animals survive. The humans have had their time. The dinosaurs had their time. Let's give it to someone else who might treat the planet a little bit better, eh? Let's do that. Let's give it to the cats and the dolphins. Let's let them rule. You know, the cats can go on their backs and they can rule the world. Let's give it to them. Let's give them a chance. Are you somewhere in Scotland? No, I'm not. I'm in Surrey. Surrey? And that's not how you say Surrey. A locust is forming in Africa. Well, you don't... Oh, dear, really? There we go. It literally is... It might be the end of the world. It just might be. I think it's just come. It's just come, you know. The dolphins did try to warn us. We've got to listen to our dolphin masters, and I don't think we have done. You know, we haven't done. Yeah, stay out the trees, Charlie. As John said, who watched your tweet. there is a massive locust swarms in Africa. Really? Is there really locusts, like a plague of locusts now? So we've had plagues, we've had storms, and now locusts. This is getting quite serious. It really is. Death is coming to us all. Oh right, I'm gonna have to look this up. I will do. But again, we can't control it, so let's not worry about it. So there you go. So that's my roundup of the candidates. Now, if I'm gonna, so I think out the 8 players, Ding I think is my one pick. The 2 favourites, obviously Ding and Fabi. So don't get me wrong, Fabi can win this one. He is quite likely, but I'm just going on the odds that are posted. I would say Ding, and I think Ding will be the biggest threat for Magnus Carlsen out of everyone because of his score and his play and his team, and he's very cool. Fabi, I like Fabi. I think he's a really nice guy, but I don't want to see him play Magnus again. I mean, no offense to Fabi, he's played him once for the World Championships. I want to see someone new play, you know, just to have a bit of spice of life is change, yeah. So there we go. And Nepo is my outside bet. That's my one guy. I think Nepo, if he pulls his shit together, which he might not do, he might just, you know, crack up. But if he pulls his stuff together, I think he could be someone who could surprise in this. Or he could do horribly badly as well. Don't get me wrong. He's very unpredictable. But that's what I'm going to say about the candidates. So after my rant about how we're all going to die because the apocalypse is coming, As I think Mr. Dodgy said, thank you for watching. Death comes to us all. It's probably actually what I said. You know. So yeah, you know. Was it boring? Was it boring the last? I don't know. It was a bit boring. I thought the World Championships wasn't boring, but I think if they play again, it could be boring because you get the same openings again. I want to see someone new playing, new openings, new interest, more wins. Anyway, if we survive another month or two, we are doing well. But all of you, take care. Take care. Don't get freaked out too much by the media. You know, it is there to scare you. Look after yourselves. And look after other people as well. Remember that. Those ones, I'm sure there's people in more need of toilet roll and, you know, aspirin, and the people stockpiling it. So do keep an eye on other people who are in need as well. And if you want to help support me and me to do more of these streams, buy the Black Lion course above. It's only on sale for a limited time. It's 15 hours on how to play a great opening against 1e4. And if you learn that, you will have an opening that will last you for life. I spent lots of time in it. And if you want to support me, that's a good way to support me, because I get decent money for if it does well. So you will learn something and you help support me. So go and check it out, and thank you if you do buy. There's also a free 1 hour thing. Maybe Charlie can post it now if you want to get the free 1 hour thing. I don't know. It's called Short and Sweet. You better find it. Just Google this. I can't be asked to do it. Short and Sweet Black Lion. That's what the opening's called. Oh yeah, by the way, it was quite funny. Before I go, my friend Blair had a chess match, and he was helping me out with some of the research on the Black Lion. So he was actually, you know, he was doing a little bit of research on the Black Lion, and he had a chess match yesterday, and guess where it was, pretty much. Can you see that? I don't know. Why is that not? Oh, it's a delay. How long's the delay here? Why is the delay so much? Can you see that? Cool, the delay is massive today. That's insane. The Black Lion pub. That's quite funny, yeah? So he actually had a chess match yesterday right next to the Black Lion pub, which is just really weird. And you know what? You know what happened? He was white. He went 1e4. You know what his opponent played? The Black Lion. I mean, what the hell, yeah? He played next to the Black Lion pub. His opponent played the Black Lion, and he's been working on the Black Lion with me. It's a weird world, man. Okay, cheers. I'll see you all later, and enjoy yourselves, people, and take care. Goodbye for now.